What keeps you awake at night? The killers? The secrets? The moments horror fans can't forget? If you live for the scream, you belong at the Scream at Night podcast, your midnight home for everything horror. From Scream 96 to Scream 7 theories, Halloween, Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Saw, and the classics that built the genre. The Scream at Night podcast covers horror's past, present, and future. Hosted by Night of the Night Watch Zone, each episode of the Scream at Night podcast delivers sharp debates, franchise breakdowns, character studies, and a fearless look into the darkest corners of horror. Listen now on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, Pandora, and wherever you get your podcast. Add the Scream at Night podcast to your podcast playlist right now, where horror never sleeps.
Hello?
Hello, Sydney.
Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, ready to rock the Scream at Night podcast on a Wednesday night. You know, sometimes you do things for a special occasion, and that is tonight. I got my man Marcus from I Shot Him 6 Times. What's up, man?
What's going on, Night Man? It's been a long time since we've been able to link up and do a stream about anything. So I'm super excited to be here on your podcast tonight and bust it up and talk about some Scream 7.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm so glad you can make it tonight. And yeah, we're gonna be all over the place. That's how we usually roll. You know how it is.
You know how it is.
Yeah, we'll be talking about theories, we'll be talking about ideas, and I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on what's been going on with this lead up to 7. But we're also going to be talking about some other stuff too, and of course anything that the chat throws at us. And real quick, speaking of the chat, thank you guys for being with us tonight. We really appreciate it. We see you guys. A blanket hello, but we got Paula in the house. What's up, Paula? Scott's here. What's up, man? Good to see you. Been a while since I was actually on time. Hell must have frozen over. Hey, Night. Hey, fam. What's up, man? Good to have you here. We got the general in the house. What's up, Val? Good to see you. Hope you are doing well. Green Gaze is in the house. Julie is in the house. What's up, Julie? Good to see you. And Val's already got the links going. You guys are so quick, so much faster than me. It's crazy. Spicy's in the house. Good to see you. Val's like, oh, that's right. Oliver, what's up? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, man. Who else do we have in here? I saw a couple other people. Gory Tiger, what is going on? Good to see you. All right. So let's start off, man, with just blanket type of stuff.
Okay.
Scream 7, the hype is real. Everyone's been talking about it. You know how it is in this community. What are some of your thoughts about the marketing leading up to Scream 7, which, we're literally a couple weeks away? It's crazy to even think that,
Right. At first, I was a little envious. I'm not going to lie, because I think, especially when you're a Scream fan or a horror fan in general, and you're anticipating a movie come out, you want to be able to see a little bit of things so you can pick it apart and maybe guess what's going to happen. But they have done a brilliant job with this marketing. I appreciate it now because it feels like the old days. You barely get anything. Like we're getting some little nuggets, but we're getting some things we can chew on, but nothing that we can devour fully. And that's what I love about this promotion and the marketing.
Yeah. It's been really, really cool. And especially the last several days, man. Like I was just talking to Jake on the collective the other night. It seems like every 50 minutes we're getting something else, whether it's an image, a TV. There's like 85 TV spots, bro. we didn't get a second trailer per se, but we got a bunch of TV spots. We got TV spots all across the world, man. I saw one from, I think it was Argentina. I'm like, what's going on here, man? It's crazy.
Worldwide,
man. It's really, really cool. So let's talk about the TV spot. Like we got the first trailer Everyone's hype about it. You know, a lot of cool stuff in there. When we got the TV spot and we saw a couple of other things going on, what were your thoughts with the TV spot?
The first TV spot, like like the legacy TV spot.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing that really caught my attention before they really got into it is, and I mentioned this in the video, was when they were doing the legacy characters and stuff, you didn't see Randy, but you seen CC Cooper. And I thought that was really, really interesting. I know a lot of fans, love that character and have theorized about that character or somebody from her family possibly coming to exact revenge and stuff. I'm not saying I'm against it. I just personally, I don't feel like she's an important enough character for them to go that far, so, and it just, I'm not going to lie, kind of just bugged me a little bit. Why is Randy not in that legacy spot trailer?
Yeah.
With all the legacy characters, because he's one of the most important characters in this entire franchise. So it just befuddled me with that.
Yep. I got you on that. I was wondering too about Randy. I was like, man, it feels like there's something left out, because I really think that, the beauty of that first film and even the second film, like we were talking about Scream 2 the other night, Randy was kind of like, I don't want to say he was the glue, because I feel like Dewey's the glue, but Randy was just like, I don't know, the icing on the cake.
Yep.
He was just so witty, so funny, so out there. And the scenes that he was a part of, whether it was in the video store or in Scream 2 at the table with Dewey, and that's a fantastic scene. I love it.
It was,
obviously the phone call was great up until he gets killed, which
yes.
I still have issues with. And so did Wes.
Yep.
But yeah, he is so important to the franchise and its legacy. So I was kind of interested. I was kind of curious why they didn't have him a part of it. I do think, though, that first spot that showed the legacy characters, and it was just a couple of clips from the trailer, a couple of new shots, but very minimal. I felt like that was perfect. Like that could have been the only thing we ever saw as far as footage.
Yep.
From the film, and I would have been fine, because this is the type of franchise where the mystery is so important. You don't want to see too much. And I know, and I'm sure you're the same way as a content creator, we have the curiosity and we want to see things so we can talk about them. But it's like, there lies the rub, I
Yep.
don't want to be spoiled. What do you think, for this film, especially for folks that may not have heard some of these things directly from you, how good do you think this film is going to be, and why?
That's a really good question, Knight.
Oh, you had to pause, bro. Come on.
I'll chalk it up to, and I'm kind of glad you asked this, because I spoke about it in my Legacy Spot TV trailer breakdown. And this is something that I think is so essential for this movie to not only be successful, but to be well liked. In the marketing, you've seen them take an approach like I Know What You Did Last Summer. Every secret, every kill has led all to this. Every phone call, every killer has led all to this. Well, in my opinion, when you do that, you're setting us up for something so epic that has to do with the past that you're going to bring to the present, and it's all going to be culminated. Every plot hole, every little Easter egg that we pointed out in the past that we discussed maybe could be brought into this film and explained and stuff. To me, when you're promoting this movie like that, I feel like maybe you should do a movie like that. And I hope we are, because unfortunately, I Know What You Did Last Summer didn't follow that formula and stuff. I'm not going to lie to you, man, with all the shots that I've seen, this has the potential. If it's curated right, if everything is put together perfectly, or at least well enough to where it's like, man, I see how this movie works.
Yeah.
This has the potential to surpass Scream 4 as everyone's favorite Scream sequel. I think with Matthew Lillard coming back, and then you also have a great assemblance of young characters, the cast members too. Isabel May, Michelle Randolph, Jimmy Tatro. You have Asa Gurman with Sam Reckner. And then you even got, and I'm really curious about his character. He's a little bit older, but Mark Consuelos.
Yeah, right.
Like that. You know? I just thought he was, a morning show host with his wife.
That's right.
I'm super intrigued by his character, especially with the rumors that he's going to be rivaling Gale. I want to see it. So to sum it up, if it's done the right way, this has the potential to be the best Scream sequel in the entire franchise.
Wow, man. Well, that's some high praise, bro. I'm digging it. It's good to hear the positivity
I
because,
trust in Kevin Williamson.
well, I will say this. Once I heard that he helped with the writing, that he co-wrote, that's when that was the main thing. I said, okay, because I think that, and I think most people would agree with this. He knows these characters.
Yep.
He knows how to craft these characters. He knows how to have great dialogue with these characters, great scenes, great moments.
Yep.
And so once he was on as director, I was like, all right. But I was still concerned, I was still concerned because as a director, you only have so much that you can do. Now, granted, Wes used to do little pickups here and there and change things, tweak things, but he's Wes Craven. He could do that. He could do anything. But once I heard that Kevin co-wrote, that's when I was like, okay, we got a great shot. Marco's coming back, so the music's there. I'm really hoping that when I'm watching this film, and I was just saying this to Jake the other night, that it's almost like it's taking me back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that old school vibe, that old school feel. But at the same time, they're pushing the envelope. They're widening the lane of what the franchise is and what it's become. I think we got a good shot, but I was really curious to see where you were on that spectrum. You guys in the chat, let us know what you think now that we're literally weeks away, a couple of weeks away. What is your confidence level with Scream? Let us know. We're going to try to get to as many people as we can. We can't get to everyone, but of course, if you have a theory, please share it with us. The super chats go to the front of the line. And also want to thank again, Julie and Val, for putting links in the chat. We're going to have Marcus's link in the chat. Make sure that you subscribe to I Shot 'Em 6 Times. You guys know how we do this here. We always try to support each other. Absolutely. Julie, thank you so much for putting the podcast link there. If you have not followed us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please do that. We would truly appreciate it. It helps us out so much. Let's start this thing off with Ben coming in, starting it off quick. $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Ben. You rock. Night, it's always a great time in the watch zone. I'm seeing Iron Lung and Whistle tomorrow. Ooh, very cool, man. Then Strangers Chapter 3 on Friday. Prediction, Stu is AI. Ben, I knew you were going to take us down a great road because I'm going to point this to Marcus. I'll give my thoughts too. But Marcus, one of the biggest things, and I probably would have saved this a little later, but let's just jump in now, man. We got to get dirty.
You already know. Let's go dumpster diving.
Matthew Lillard is in the movie. We know that it was announced, and I've got something else I'll bring up in a couple of minutes. But there's been people on both sides of the fence. Is it just going to be an AI thing, deep fake of Stu? Is it going to be a flashback with Stu? Or will Matthew Lillard as Stu Macher be shown in this movie to be alive, in the flesh, mortal? What do you think, man?
Well, I've been on record saying that if the rumors are true that Scream 8 is going to be picking up directly after 7, he doesn't really have to come back in this movie, per se. He doesn't. Especially if that opening scene is the cliffhanger ending, and that's what I think it is. I really do. I think the burning down of Stu's house is going to come at the end.
Okay.
Some things in the dialogue that kind of hints towards that. So honestly, I think we might get the whole trifecta. I think we might see some AI Stu. I think we might see a flashback or a dream sequence, and then everything will lead into him being revealed that he is alive. Whether that's at the end of 7 or maybe they wait till Scream 8 to do that. But all in all, I do think everything that they are going to do with his character is going to subsequently lead him to being alive in the flesh. I think a lot of people who are on the fence about Stu coming back and stuff, who don't believe he can come back, when they hear this whole AI angle, they think that's the end road. It doesn't have to be the end road. That could just
I'm sorry, man.
that doesn't have to be the end road. Like, especially if you're building to something.
Right.
You're building
Right.
to revealing that he's alive. Well, then you're gonna do all these little nuggets that hint and play with our mind, like, is he alive? Is he not alive? What are they doing? Like, which way are they going with this? I will say this, though, and I'm going to do a video about it, but I think in a TV spot, I think it was a Super Bowl one, when you see Sydney pointing her gun in that house, and then you see that TV cut on, I think that's going to be the video of Stu. I think that's going to be a video of Stu on a TV screen, because when you listen to that audio, when he said, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Different. It wasn't like the other trailers. It was different. It sounded it sounded more like audioed and stuff. And I was just like, oh, watch that be him on that TV screen. Oh man. I really hope that with all the building that they have done, especially since Scream 5, I've said it in countless videos, especially with Scream 7, kind of mirroring Scream 3 with the whole, I've been planning this for a long time, meaning we're getting a mastermind.
Yeah.
Please tie all those Easter eggs that we have been talking about since Scream came back into play in 2022. Tie everything together, and then maybe even reveal something back then that we didn't know about with Stu and maybe somebody else. Cough, Gale Weathers. But something to where it's like, you know what? Because I heard Matthew saying that he's a little concerned about how fans will take his return. I feel like as long as you give us something that is authentic to Stu Macher, especially if he is revealed alive, and you give us a good backstory that we can sink our teeth into, even those who don't believe he could come back alive, I think they'll be accepting of it.
That's a good point. And to that point, I always bring this up as one of my best examples. David Arquette in 5. That was a different Dewey than we've ever seen. He was worn down. He was grizzled. He was dealing with depression. Him and Gale were separated. So that thing that always kind of had him on that pedestal was taken away from him. But yet, I think, first of all, it was David's strongest performance as the character. I really felt his performance was strong, and he was still Dewey. Like, there were still moments, even through all of the things he had been through, and, you could still feel that Dewey energy. You know what I'm saying? So, characters can get older and they can still be effective. I mean, Sydney's done it. Dewey's done it. Why on earth is there no way to believe that Stu Macher couldn't? Matthew is a very talented and charismatic actor.
Absolutely.
So there's no doubt in my mind that he can do it. So that's always the thing that I throw out when people say, well, it's not going to be good because it's not going to be the Stu we knew. Well, of course it's not going to be. He's older. This is a different Sydney than we saw in 96, and so forth and so forth. So you're basically banking that he's alive, whether it be at the end of this film or in 8.
Yep.
Now, I have to say, to me, I'm still on that. We're still on the Stu train. Our brother Craven, he set it up for us all, so we're still on there. But I will say this for the people that don't think that he's going to be alive or are worried that it's only going to be AI or some form of trickery. All I can say is this: it would be one of the biggest fumbles of all time. Because Matthew Lillard, he's just so charismatic. This is an iconic role. His star power is really great right now with the other things he's been doing. And, they're teasing, face the past. That's what the new poster says, which I'm going to bring that up to. Face your past. Bro, who can she face the past with? It's got to be Stu.
Right.
It's got to be Stu. We got to go big time. If this is going to be this big grandiose thing, who better than Stu? Now, and Ben, thank you so much for that super chat, man. I knew that would take us down a nice road. We appreciate you, bro. We'll get to our next super chat too, but let me bring up the Sydney poster. First of all, I love it.
Beautiful.
This is like the best poster.
I agree.
bro. And I did a video a while back when I was ranking the posters in the franchise. This poster might be one of the best ever. I mean, maybe only second to the original. You know,
I agree.
I love it. It's just something about it, the tone, the blue in the eyes,
Yep.
the knife. But here's the thing that we were talking about this the other night. When you look on the poster and you look at the names, that fifth name is Matthew Lillard,
Yep.
right behind Jasmine and Mason.
Yep.
So look, all I'm saying is this. Are we getting trolled? You know, is it just going to be AI or whatever? Look, I haven't seen the movie yet. All I know is this. It'd be a huge fumble. You got the opportunity to just slam the pedal to the floor, bring Stu back, have this amazing mental confrontation between Stu and Sydney. I mean, I just can't see why they wouldn't do it, you know? And again, like you said, maybe he is not going to come back in the flesh in 7. Maybe there's clues. I think what it's going to be is a lot of back and forth throughout the film. You know, some trickery. And we're all going to be there like, oh crap, he's not coming back. Oh, maybe he is, you know, back and forth.
Right.
I'm thinking that he's going to be revealed at the end to be alive. But you know, but the way you're saying it too, I could see that too, is at the end, it's still like kind of a question, and then an 8, you know, that's what they're setting up in 8. Because you don't green light 8 this quick if the story isn't, you know what I'm saying?
If it's not going to continue into the next movie.
Right. And who else is going to do that? This will be the first time they've done that.
Right.
It's got to be Stu. You guys in the chat
always wanted to do that. He's always wanted to do it. And
that's true.
For those who say, you know, Kevin's not going to bring Stu back. I mean, he could decide not to bring Stu back alive this time around. He could. But I always look at it like you had this idea to where you thought the character could have survived his injuries because you wanted to bring him back before.
That's right.
And when I see that, it's like, to me, that's all I need to know. If you feel as a creator that you can bring this character back, that the way he died wasn't enough to truly kill him, then what are we waiting for? I want Stu Macher so badly to be Sydney's Michael Myers. I do.
That's it. That's what I was saying. Yes.
He has to be her boogeyman.
Right.
What did Amber say? We have no killers that keep coming back. We have the golden opportunity to make Stu Macher, with all the Easter eggs that we have gotten, with everything that has been set up. Remember in Scream 6, the phone call from Woodsboro that went to Gale. These are things that have to be atoned for in these next 2 films. And to me, it should culminate with Stu being revealed. I know a lot of people think it could be Leslie. Unless she's with Stu, I don't think it makes sense.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
She should have, if anything, if you were going to make Leslie Macher an entity, she should have been Mrs. Loomis's partner.
Oh,
that would have made so much more sense.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right. I never even thought about that. Her and Mrs. Loomis. Ooh. Wow, that's a good one.
Had your first franchise back then too, with the first 2 female killers.
Yep. That's a great point. Holy shit, man, you're cooking. All right, that's good. All right, let's jump back into the chat. We got Talking Star Wars coming in. What's up, man? Thank you so much. Where the F is Anna Camp in the TV spots? Listen, look, these guys know what to do, man. They're taking us down the paths that I had already kind of saw in my mind. So, okay, and you've heard all the theories. You've heard us on the collective and so forth. Is Anna Leslie? Do you see that, or do you think she's just a regular character hanging around Sydney's neighbor and what have you? What do you think?
It's a good question, man. I'm 50-50 on it. I'll say this. If Asa Germain's attack scene, if he dies, unless his mom is just super evil, I can't see how Jess Anna Camp is going to be Ghostface. Now, of course, if it's a fake out, like I think it is, because there was definitely some clues. You know, my boy literally put his hand on the window, like my boy Charlie with the red right hand. You know how that worked out night. So So if he is Ghostface, then obviously I can see Jess being Ghostface. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't think she's gonna be Leslie Mocker either way.
Okay.
I even say this, especially with the whole TCM poster and stuff like that. Let's say if we do get Stu Macher revealed at the end of this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's looking at Leslie Mocker as the family tie. What if Jess is his wife and Asa is his son?
Get out. Wow.
I mean, a lot of people say, well, how would that make sense in regards to explaining how Stu survived for so long or why he was hidden for so long? People don't understand this. In real life, serial killers have went dormant for years. Yep. Started families as if they never committed a murder a day in their life, only to resurface when something symbolic triggers them to want to kill again. And it's just so ironic that Sydney decided to name her daughter Tatum. I don't know what gets more symbolic for a comeback than that. You know,
yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point.
I mean, with Anna Camp, I'm just on the fence with her. I'm 50-50. Could she be Leslie? Sure. Could she not be? I think that's another thing. I think they want us to believe that she's going to be Leslie and going to be a killer so bad that subsequently she's not going to be a killer. She's going to be a massive red herring, but she's not going to turn out to be a killer. That's just my thought.
So do you think that, because it's like, that's the big question. Where is Anna Camp? Where is Anna Camp? So do you think that they intentionally try to hide her to make her more of a red herring, to make us do exactly what we're doing right now?
I agree. Yes, because that's ever since she got signed on.
Yeah,
it's like that's Leslie, you know. So they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and
they do.
I think it's brilliant, even if she does turn out to be the killer. I mean, we may have not seen her in the trailers, but we've seen her on the poster.
Hell yeah, man! So, she is definitely on the poster.
We always see who the killer is before they're revealed. There goes your plant right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's looking a little sus on there in a way. You know, I mean, of course, these posters, you know, it may be much ado about nothing, but when I looked at this poster, it was just kind of interesting. You know, you got Joel McHale looking over at her, and I don't know. It's gonna be cool, man. I've been saying this for a long time. I've got so much curiosity and anticipation for this film because of things like this. You know, how are they going to do it? Can they pull it off? And all of that type of stuff, man. So talking Star Wars, man, thank you so much. We appreciate the support, and it means a lot. Seriously. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Let's this real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
You know who else is being looked at in that poster with the side eye? Did you catch it, Night?
Let's pull it up.
Look who Chad's looking at.
Oh, geez. Get out of here. Stop, man. Come on. All right. Look. All right. So listen.
I'm trying to tell you, brother. I'll say this.
Yeah.
I think if you wanted to pull a swerve that nobody really would expect to happen, Gale's the key.
All right, so look, okay, so let's go down this road because there have been people talking about this.
I done got him started.
Yeah, okay, so listen, I mean, look, anything's possible. I mean, we've seen, I know what you did last summer, 2025 has taught us that anything is possible. We want to learn from some mistakes though, but do you think Gale's going to be revealed as a Ghostface killer or involved with the killings in some way? Is that what you're leaning towards?
I will say this. I think if you really look at certain things and certain shots that we have seen her, because she's another one who's barely been involved in the marketing.
That's true.
Now, usually, Night, when we see Gale in her professional attire, she matches. Pants match the jacket, same color, everything. But what I found interesting in the one shot that we get of her standing in the street when I guess she shows up at Sydney's, she's wearing that same red jacket that she's wearing in Scream 5, but she's wearing black pants.
Yeah.
What do you know cult colors is? Red and black. And then on top of that, what do we hear in the trailer? She literally utters the same words that Ghostface said about Sydney's daughter, the exact same way.
Yeah.
They had her say it in the trailer. Now, could they be setting Gale up to be a massive red herring in this film?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I will bring this up just in case everybody forgot about this in Scream 6. Remember, that Ghostface who called from Woodsboro hinted at Gale becoming Ghostface.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
right. Yep.
breadcrumbs were laid. And I will say this, man, because a lot of people say, oh, it wouldn't make much sense. You know, she's been friends with Sydney for so long. Has she really been friends with Sydney?
Right. Right.
I mean, the real reason why her and Sydney got close was really because of Dewey.
Yep.
And
Yep.
did that really even change anything? No, Gale is still Gale. Gale's the reason why people are still feeling encouraged to put on the costume and become Ghostface.
Mhm.
You know, and then this is another thing real quick, is what did we see in Scream 4? And this is something that Val, shout out to you, General, brought to my attention a few years ago. In Scream 4, Gale has writer's block. She has
That's
nothing
right.
to think about because there's no Ghostface attacks happening.
Yep.
Once
She's so connected to it.
Once Jill and Charlie start their thing, now she's back in the game. And then
Right.
she has to wait, obviously, another 11 years until it's revealed that Billy has a daughter. What does she do? Oh, I'm not going to write about it. I'll write about Dewey. What happens in Scream 6? She writes.
Exactly.
And it's something that Tara said, and I think they could play into this. They could.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I think she could end up being a surprise twist Ghostface. Not. Tara said to her when Gale said, I want to catch this effort too, you know. Maybe.
Yep.
Or maybe you're just afraid without Ghostface in your life, you'll fade away.
Right. Right.
And the look on Gale's face said it all. And I've always been one to say, this, when you really put Scream in a microscope, it started with Sydney and Gale. Why shouldn't it end with Sydney and Gale?
Wow.
That showdown, that's legacy. You talk about outside of Stu Macher, legacy in regards to the legacy of Scream.
Yeah.
It's Gale and Sydney.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna tell you what, man. Like, I've been very disappointed with what they've done with Gale in 5 and 6, especially 6. That was just some ridiculous shit. So if they can execute this in a way that works, obviously Courtney Cox is talented enough to pull it off. I could see that being an interesting way for her to go character wise, because right now she's at a brick wall as far as where she was in 6.
Yep.
And I do want her to be an interesting character. I do want to enjoy her scenes and so forth, because I think that the character can do it. But man, oh good Lord, just thinking about it, be like, wow. I mean,
I get it. I battled with this myself too, Knight, because there is some things about Gale you can like. But if they were to write, and if there's anybody who could do it, it's Kevin. You know,
true.
If they were to go in this direction and he does it right, bro, I mean, that could be a reveal and a showdown that we be talking about for years.
That's true. If they could execute it, that is so true.
I'll throw this last little tidbit in there. Without Samantha and Tara present, Gale needs a new Ghostface story to tell. So what better way than to take it back to the original where it all began? And Sydney's daughter is the same age as she was. Now, if Gale is the killer, obviously her plan would be to kill Sydney, but keep Tatum alive, because then the stories are going to continue. And we'll say that really wouldn't make sense. Remember, Saw 4. You kidnap the daughter, you kill the parents. Now, Saw 4 didn't execute it the way they should have, in my opinion, because we didn't follow that little girl again.
I know, right? Yeah.
We didn't follow her. But you could do something like that and then follow Tatum, and that will be that'd be Gale's whole scenario play out in her head. I kill Sydney, but I have her daughter to keep the Ghostface legacy alive, because she's Sydney's daughter. She automatically becomes royalty after the first attack. Yeah. Especially if Sydney dies, she takes Sydney's place in the legacy.
You know, I'm going to say this right here, and I know there might be some people in the chat, they're like, oh, don't go down that road. But, you know, the breadcrumbs, you're right. The breadcrumbs are there. This could tie every damn movie together. You know, I had been talking about if Leslie was in this film, Vince being killed in 5, that's the through line. And if Stu is revealed, that's his nephew, yada, yada, yada. That was another way to tie every single movie.
Right.
It basically meaning including 4, 5, and 6. But this could tie it up probably even more so because, like you said, the conversations with Sam and Tara and what she said she would do, and then she didn't, and so forth. One thing's for sure, she's got a better motive, and it'd be so much more believable than I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025. Because as soon as I saw Ray, I was like, bullshit. Are you serious? That was such a fumble.
It was.
They did Freddie Prinze Jr. wrong, bro.
They did. If anything, they should have tied it into the fact that he could have been involved with Ben Willis in the original.
That would have worked.
Because one thing that a lot of fans don't pick up on is during the parade scene, there's 2 killers there because somebody took the pictures.
Yes.
And wouldn't have been able to get across the street with all that commotion. There's
right, because he was at the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
There. And I will say this, like, did you watch the the deleted scenes for I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Yeah. I watched the deleted scenes of it.
Oh, they fumbled it. They had it.
They did.
Bro, the bar scene with Grant and Ray.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I am convinced Grant and Teddy was going to be the killers as an homage to Ben Willis and Will Benson.
I could see that.
Would have made sense. Why would they want to kill the friend group? Because they don't want the secret getting out. They're trying to keep it covered up. But Sarah Pigeon, she's the jittery one. She's the one who could squeal because that's her man who got killed. They fumbled it, bro. I saw that deleted scene and I just put my head down and said, this was it.
They did fumble it, man. I was so disappointed. I mean, I know we're not really talking about that tonight, but hey, horror is horror. I was just I just couldn't believe how, in so many ways, they fumbled it, because it's like you've got an opportunity, if nothing else, to really give us some great, death scenes, some good ingenuity, something fresh, give us something. And they didn't even really do that. And I'm just like, come on, guys. I mean, they fumbled Freddie, they fumbled Jennifer. I'm like, what are we doing? Sarah as well. It's like, what? Anyways, I don't want to. Oh God! All right, let me jump to the chat.
We're gonna have to get together for I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025, like review stream, and just let it all out.
Right? Right, because like every time I even mention it, I just my blood starts boiling, and I let out like these 30-second rants, and it's like I just want to just explode on it. Jake's like, we just can't talk about it because it just gets me so irritated. I'm like, I know.
Jake dropped his video for it. All I seen in the back was dog water. I'm just like, I know. Hey. And that was before I went to go see the movie, so I was like, oh, this ain't good. Jake saying it ain't good, I don't know.
Right. I just couldn't believe it, man. We got Hilton in the chat saying, hey, this is Anna. How you guys doing? As for Scream 7, by the way, we're doing good. Thank you for asking. As for Scream 7, I'm looking forward to seeing the wall scene, Sydney and her daughter moving between walls and Ghostface stabbing the wall trying to get them. This crawl space scene, I've been saying this ever since the first trailer. This could be a really, really amazing scene franchise-wise, like teasing out the suspense, bringing back a really good sense of horror. And I'm excited to see it, man. What do you think about that crawl space scene?
Bro, that's one scene I wish we wouldn't have got spoiled.
Yes, it's true.
Save that for the movie. So when I seen that first trailer, and I actually did a live on stream, just watching it live with the audience, and I remember seeing that, and I'm just on the stream, I'm like, oh my, like this is Scream right here. This detention building, moments like that where Blade's so close to stabbing her. It's just like, that's what I want to see. Throughout the entire movie. When I seen that, I was just like, oh yeah, we're getting back to business, baby.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is reminiscent of, the car scene in Scream 2, and Sydney is like this close to kissing Ghostface, and you're on pins and needles, man. Like this is the type of stuff that I think has been missing to a degree. And again, I'm not trying to, I catch myself in my mind sometimes because it feels like I'm, kind of crapping on, 5 and 6. And that's not what I'm trying to do. But I feel like 5 and 6, they became more, I don't know, action oriented, maybe is the word I want to use. You know what I'm saying? Rather than terrifying me, it's more like a hype moment.
Yes.
As much as I love the bodega scene in 6, it really, I thought I was watching a Steven Seagal movie at first, bro, when they when they went in and he kind of did the tilt.
That statement night, the score.
True.
Nothing against, I forget his name. I think it's Tyler something. He
Yeah.
does a great score, just not
Yeah.
for a stream movie. I'm so excited to get Marco back because
Yeah.
that Scream right there, like I watching that Instagram post that he put out, giving us little snippets and stuff. And I'm sure you heard this Sydney's Lament. I'm
Yes.
excited to hear that in full because I think it's going to have some H2O elements with orchestra in it. Like really more
Ooh.
orchestrated, and I really think that could bode well, especially for the tone and the dread of what that lament sounds like. Like I'm so
Yeah.
excited for that.
I can't wait, man. I cannot wait. Hey, look who's in the chat, man. We got Eric in the house, the Bearded Entertainment. What's up, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, brother. And also we've got Denisha came in with a super chat. Thank you so much, Denisha. We appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Saying, hey, Night, can I mod again? Miss you guys. And well, we miss you too. Like, you gotta message me on Instagram. Message me on Instagram, Denisha. Absolutely. But we miss you too, seriously. But thank you for being here. We appreciate that. Seriously. Oliver as well. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. Saying, Marcus, I definitely think Gale is Ghostface. Wow. This is crazy. I might have to put I might have to put a poll up or something because it's like, what are we doing here, man? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it can't happen.
Right.
And I'm not saying that it could be, I mean, this could be cataclysmic.
Yeah.
Not only for 7, but this whole damn franchise.
Yes.
So I am not belittling it, but I'm just thinking like, wow, man, that's just blowing my friggin' mind.
It is, man. And let's really be honest. I mean, was Ghostface really lying though when he said Gale would make a great killer? I mean, she could really, when you think about it, Night. Especially, I always point to this in Scream 6. We don't get no real clarification on how Gale found the shrine.
That's true.
So, especially in regards to maybe having her be a surprise twist, even if she is working with Stu. I mean, we don't always know how she gets her information.
Right.
For all we know, she could already know about Stu or anything else. I mean, she is the owner of the Stab movie rights. I mean, I'm sure she knows about the Stab subreddit and the social media aspects and all that stuff. So again, man, like, listen, if it's I'm with you. If it's executed right, I'm all here for it. If it's just on some shit like with Ray and I Know What You Did Last Summer, and it doesn't make any sense, or you give us a bullshit motive, then I'm not going to be happy at all. I will be mad at myself that I pushed this theory. Like, just if you're going to do it, just do it right. But I definitely do think, like, let me ask you this, like, because I've actually been kind of thinking about this in regards to, let's say Stu just is AI, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. Who would be good with technology and television and videos and stuff like that? Gale Weathers,
right?
Because of her being a TV show host and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But what if they did reveal her as a killer, right? But they take it all the way back to when Roman first gets to Woodsboro, or we take it back to Roman basically about to approach Marine. We see this scene between Roman and Gale. Because Roman needs somebody to tell his story. People overlook this so much.
That is true.
People overlooked this so much that Roman's story was supposed to be the story that was told, not Sydney's. That's why Roman was so mad. He was supposed to be the star, not Sydney. I would not be against if you would reveal that basically Roman Bridger put Gale Weathers up to gave her the layup. This is the story. This is what's going to break your career. But Gale, she went in the opposite direction because Sydney is the story. She's the girl. She's the final girl. That's a better hook than the final guy.
Right.
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 Like that. So, bro, I think they could do something like that. Like,
wow.
It would be absolutely insane, because I always go back to Roman saying, you're going to pay for the life you stole from me, for the money,
for the mother,
family, and stardom. Damn, everything you had should have been mine. Like, and when I go back and I listen to that, I'm just like, wow, when you really put it into a vacuum, this really was supposed to be Roman's story.
Right.
It really was supposed to be. So if they do something wild like that with Gale, and that's something I can get behind. That is something that I can get behind fully. Like, man, you take it back all the way to then, and that's how Gale was positioned. And it would make perfect sense with today's time. It would be meta, because there's a lot of people out there in regards to other content creators who do things that feel like they're industry plants.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you'd be playing into that idea if you did reveal something like that with Gale and Roman, and then reveal that Gale is a killer in Scream 7. And like, bro, whoo, man, I gotta catch my breath.
Listen, man, that will I'll tell you, that will wreck the franchise. Like, anytime somebody watches 1 through 6, they'll be like, damn it. Let me also say real quick in the chat, we got Lamar in the house. What's up, Lamar? Hope you're doing well, man. Saying watching from the hospital. Love everyone. Much love to you, brother, and hope that you're hanging in there. But thank you so much for being here tonight. We appreciate it. And hopefully, this is an enjoyable conversation for you. Seriously, man. Much love. Let's see who else we've got in the chat. I'm just catching up to everybody. We got John coming in the house. What's up, John? Thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. And by the way, I know they've talked about it in the chat. Our mods, our wonderful mods. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. It helps us out so very much, and it only takes a split second to do. It lets us know that you enjoy this conversation, you enjoy this community and hanging out together. So please do that for us. John saying,
that's the hype button.
Yeah, you're
the hype button. Had to plug that in for you, bro.
You're right, and that's such a it's a new thing, and I think most people, including myself, you just kind of forget about it. But yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, man. You're all right. You're all right. John saying the new TV spot for Scream 7 have been fire spots. I'm so pumped for this movie. I love the tone so far, and I hope they keep it dark overall. I also believe Gale may bite the dust. Isabel May is going to be great. So, look, I'm not going to lie. And John, thank you so much for this. Because Jake and I and Fate, we've talked about who we think are going to die, this and that. We haven't gotten to our final list, but we've started talking about that. Look, I mean, this stuff about Gale being Ghostface, it's interesting. It's got me kind of like, woo, But before tonight, I was thinking it's a good shot that she could die, saving Tatum, kind of righting the wrong, because and you even said it too, like she kind of started this whole thing, and her and Sydney, I like to call them frenemies. I definitely think they've grown closer in a way over the films. I'm hoping in this movie, that because we saw that scene where they're kind of like on the hunt, getting the clues together at the facility and all of that. I hope we get some really cool moments between these two legendary actresses of this franchise, because I think, again, that's a piece that's been a little missing from the last few films. Like I always think about 3, which is ironic because 3 was so campy. But one thing that was really great about 3 was those scenes with Gale and Jennifer. I thought they were great. I mean, sure, they were over the top and, they played it for comedy, but I thought they were great because they were following breadcrumbs, following the clues, putting the pieces of the puzzle together, which, by the way, I think that the whole mystery with Maureen, I thought was fantastic.
Absolutely.
I thought it was fantastic. So I'm hoping in this film that she has some really cool scenes with Sydney. You know, they show them on the hunt and so forth. So let me pose what John is saying here to you. I know you're big on this Ghostface thing, but if she's not Ghostface, do you think she'll survive this film?
No.
Okay.
I think it's over one way or another, whether she dies as Ghostface or dies as a regular civilian. If I really do hope if they're just going to kill her off and not reveal her as Ghostface, give her a redemption arc a little bit. You know, maybe she did write that book about Dewey. Like you said, maybe she sacrifices herself to save Tatum, something of that nature. I feel like you cannot have Gale be the same old Gale in this movie and then just kill her off. Like, because for all that, you should have just did it back in 6.
That's right.
You have to get something with this character for us to either love on the way out or for us to be like, holy shit, on the way out.
Right.
You know, so I think either way, whether she's going to be Ghostface or just regular, I do think she is going to die in this movie. And so, she's hardly into marketing at all. Like, we don't see we're talking about Anna Camp. Where's Gale? I mean, we've gotten a total of 2 real scenes with her and an image.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Producer of this movie, so
she's supposed to have like 23 minutes of screen time in the film, something like that. 23.
It doesn't even feel like that when you see the trailers.
Well, that's true too. Well, maybe that's because she's Ghostface.
Something else I'll point out real quick too, and I forgot about it and stuff, and I keep kind of forgetting about it. But remember, Roman dated Jennifer Jolie. Who did Jennifer Jolie play?
Come on, man. Oh, you know what, man? Listen.
I'm just saying the clues are there. The clues are there, Knight. The clues are there, bro. The clues are definitely there. Oh, man.
You got to do a video on that, man.
I did. I'm actually going to do a second one. The first one is called The Secret Traitor or whatnot and stuff. It's like a 25-minute video that I put together talking about Gale possibly being Ghostface. Obviously, the first part of the premise was her attire in the red and the black and all that stuff. And then I basically just start laying out things like, why this could happen. You know, it could. You know,
Jennifer
like
Jolie
needs a new story. She can't live without Ghostface. She can't. And I even said this, like a lot of people will say, well, she's still famous. Yeah, sorry things didn't work out with 60 Minutes too, but Total Entertainment, that's a pretty good fallback. Just like the morning show is a fallback. She is nowhere near as famous as she is when she's covering Ghostface attacks.
Yeah. Holy crap, man. Let me ask you this. Okay, because I never knew we were going to go down this road with Gale. This is the most I've talked about Gale on any of these Scream 7 streams, and I've done a ton, but that's cool though, because I like to think about these things. Right. Let me ask you this: what would be the bigger surprise, Gale being Ghostface or Stu alive in the film, like on screen, alive and well?
Gale, because a lot of us, we've gotten so many Easter eggs that point to Stu being alive. We've gotten so many Easter eggs that they've kind of like shoved down our throats.
Yeah.
The Easter eggs for Gale have always been there, but they haven't shoved it down our throats up until more recently with that trailer when you have her literally saying everything that Ghostface was saying. That was like the first time I was like, man, they're really shoving Gale possibly being a killer down our throats like that. They never did that before. So I think it would be a lot more shocking to reveal that Gale's a killer than seeing Stu alive in the flesh. And the beautiful thing about it, Knight, is that in all honesty, especially if the Stu Macher house scene isn't until the end, you can reveal Gale as Ghostface in 7 and then bring Matthew back in 8 and reveal Stu's alive then. You set this bad boy up. You get the 2-part story. This is Sydney's last hurrah, her last 2-part story. And then she rides off into the sunset. And then whatever Scream 9 and Ford's going to be, that's where we're going to go.
Wow. Well, there you have it right there. John, thank you so much for that super chat. You guys are sending us down the right path. I'll tell you that. Before I get to the next super chat, and again, guys, if you have questions or theories, this is the time to get them in. Send it in, and we'll try to get to as many as we can. McKenna Grace Okay, now I know you've heard all the thoughts, the theories, the concerns, the hopes, the dreams, and all that. Is McKenna? Do you think McKenna could be a Ghostface killer?
I think it's 50-50.
Okay.
I will say this. I think a lot of us assume that's her hanging up, in the theater
Mm,
on the strings and stuff.
hmm
For those who do think that she could die in that moment, I implore you to remember this is a theater play. They have a lot more props and gadgets to fake a death than Quinn Bailey in Scream 6.
That's true.
So,
That's
I
true.
mean, I think they're definitely trolling us in regards to they want us to believe she could die.
Yeah.
And she could very well die.
hmm
She could also very well turn out to be a killer. This is one thing, Knight, that a lot of people forget, that in the original concept for Scream 3, the Ghostface cult were all supposed to get killed only to reveal that they were alive. Their deaths were all fake. All
Yeah.
6 original members of the Ghostface cult.
hmm
So I'm not saying something like that is going to happen in Scream 7, but for a couple of these killers, I do expect to see a couple of fake outs. I do.
All right. Well, a lot of people are saying she could be a Ghostface killer. We saw the skirt. I mean, that first trailer, McKenna Grace basically walked up to the camera like this and was like, "Look at my skirt. Look at the plaid." And so a lot of people were thinking, okay, there's the there it is right there. But there are a lot of people that are thinking that she's gonna die. This is a red herring. The whole
Right.
skirt thing, it's not gonna count. And the other day I was I was talking to Jake and I said, you know what, Jake, there might be something to this
Right.
where she's gonna die because this was an image. And again, shout out to all of you guys that always reach out to us on social media and so forth. Because this image, it just made me think a little bit differently about about the possibilities for McKenna Grace.
Oh.
Because guess what? Three of these
Oh.
characters have in common as of right now.
Whoa, bro! I didn't even realize that they all died.
Hey, look, I haven't said anything. I'm just showing a picture. So I'm just saying, man, it looks this is what I love about it though, man, because you look at something like this and you just say, "Holy
Yep.
what?" But at the same time, it would not surprise me when I sit in that theater and watch this damn movie that she could be a Ghostface killer or, just a character. She doesn't, well, look, we got to have some more deaths than we did in 6 because
I agree.
everybody survived in 6. It was ridiculous.
It
I
did.
mean,
It did.
look, if you wanted to survive in a Scream film, number 6 is the one you wanted to be in
Yep.
because for whatever reason, these Ghostface killers couldn't like seal the deal. We got to get some bodies in this one. We got to have, as Julie says, we got to have the spice in Scream 7. I'm telling you.
I agree. And
But
thank you
yeah,
for putting that up there, man, because I did not notice that. I did not notice that at all. That's
yeah.
an excellent piece of information.
Isn't it crazy? I mean,
It is.
again, it's just so much stuff to that's what's beautiful about this franchise. There's so many angles. It's absolutely crazy. I'm telling you. Um, let me jump back. We got a couple more super chats we're gonna jump into real quick. And also, we got a channel member anniversary for Jen. Jen, thank you so much for being here tonight. It is awesome to see. I'm glad that you got the notification. By the way, guys, if you don't have your notifications on, please put them on. Sometimes YouTube still does not notify people when streams go live. And I've heard that from a lot of content creators. But Jen, 38 months. This is ridiculous. Thank you so much. Seriously. She's
Wow.
saying, I'm so glad I found this. Well, I'm glad you found it too. Of course, YouTube never tells me about live streams I follow. Good evening. Good to have you, Jen. Good to have you. Seriously. 38 months. It's crazy, man. It's unbelievable just the
Bro, I can't
generosity.
believe it's really been like that long, but going on like 4.5 years, like since I joined the community. Like that's crazy. Time just flies, man.
It does, man. It really does. And I will say this, not to get too far off topic, but we all just chill out here and talk
Yeah.
stuff. But this community has been just so amazing and just so cool, man. Like I've said this time and time again, so many people, including you, including Jen, so many other people, getting to know them, it's made my life better, man. And I hope for other folks in the chat, I hope they feel some of that as well.
Mhm.
We get a chance to talk about our passion,
Yes.
and I can't speak for everyone else, but I know in my regular life, I don't get a chance to talk to this
Yes.
big of a group of people, or even a handful of people about Scream 7. This is where I can do it. So, um, I'm really thankful, for all of you guys, and it's great to be able to hang out and do stuff like this. So yeah, it's
I
awesome.
agree, man. That's why I was excited when you hit me up and was like, "Hey, man, you want to stream on Wednesday?" I'm like, "Man, it's been so long since we got together and hung out." So I'm like, "Yes, absolutely, let's do it."
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. Like, I was just like I said to you backstage, I was talking to Jake, because Jake was like, "Yeah, man, I gotta get Marcus on." I'm like, "Hey, he's gonna be on with me on Wednesday." He's like, "He is?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." So it's just cool when we can get a chance to connect with each other, because we're all busy, we all have work and life and all that, but that's what makes this stuff special. So very, very cool stuff.
Absolutely.
All right. We got John coming in again. Thank you so much, John. We appreciate all the support. It really helps us so much. Seriously, thank you. Thank you. Saying, maybe I'm alone. Roman's reason was probably one of the strongest due to how his mom abandoned him. All of what happened can definitely mess someone up. I absolutely agree. I mean, it's a tragic thing. Um, and it carries on, it dominoes throughout your life. I do agree it was a very strong reason for him doing what he did. What do you think about that, Marcus? And also, what do you think Roman's role in Seven is going to be?
It's a great question, and I'm really hoping we get some tie-ins to Scream 3, because I think the bigger question is, what was Roman trying to tell us with Stu's replica house being on set of Stab 3? Remember, that's his movie.
Yep.
What was he going to reveal about Stu? I agree that Roman definitely has one of the more stronger motives. It's very relatable,
Hmm.
especially with when you think about how it's like layered out and stuff. Like I said earlier, his whole plan for exposing his mother was so that he would look good coming out of it.
Yeah.
And that's not how it played out at all.
Hmm.
So I agree that he definitely had one of the more stronger motives to not only, unfortunately do what he did, and because he went through what he went through, but to basically conjure all that up and basically be the mastermind that he subsequently became. Like, yeah, he has one of the more stronger motives and story arcs in the Scream franchise for sure. And I'm so excited to see Scott back. I'm so
Yeah.
happy for him, man. So happy
Hmm.
for him that he's coming back as Roman Bridger. Um, Definitely do think he's going to be a flashback or maybe a nightmare sequence like Marine was in Scream 3. But I'm
Mm.
really hoping it is somewhat of a flashback, or maybe it is a nightmare sequence where he's kind of like, Sid, I forgot to tell you one more thing. You
Mm.
know, kind of like Piper at the end of Scream the TV series. Right as she
Ooh.
was going to reveal that Kieran was the killer, bang, she gets clipped and it's over. And then they cliffhanger it until the second season.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
bro, oh man, I'm just so happy that we are getting some of these OG characters back. And if there's anybody that can do it in a way that I think it's going to be acceptable,
Mm.
even if Stu doesn't get revealed alive, would I be disappointed? Absolutely. But I'm
Hmm.
also on the side that if they can give us a great movie with excellent execution, and we get these characters back, and the reason why they're back makes a lot of sense. As
Hmm.
disappointed as I'll be that Stu isn't alive in the flesh, I can accept Scream 7 being a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I definitely, I just want this to be a good movie more
Yes.
than anything else. If Stu's not back, or we don't get, some of the stuff that I'm hoping for or whatever, I'm okay with it as long as the movie is good. And like you said, it just feels like old school Scream.
Yes.
It becomes, in the top tier of the franchise. That would be a win in my book. I mean, this is the seventh film, in a 30-year franchise.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So even the fact of talking about the possibility of it really hitting this home run is a win. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
7th film. This does not happen usually in horror franchises. It just doesn't. But that being said, and John, by the way, thank you so much for that super chat. We appreciate you. You know, the whole idea of Roman and Scott coming back and so forth. My original feeling for this was it'd be a great way for Kevin to tie things back to 3. I think 3 has always kind of been looked at as the black sheep. You know, they made it more campy. We know why. It was real world problems, so I can't be upset about that, but we can only judge a film by what we see, and it was a lot more campy and cheesy. You know, they didn't use half of the amount of blood that they used in part 2, and that was less than what they used in part 1. So 3 was dry, bro.
It was
So if
so enjoyable though.
yeah, it's fun. It's a
fun, man.
fun
It is.
movie.
It's a good watch, man. Like
I agree.
I know people give 3 a lot of crap, but I
Yeah.
love rewatching 3. I think it's just so much fun.
I agree.
Roman is great. Not just I think he's great even before he gets revealed.
Yeah.
Did they kill my film? But they killed my cast. You know, Variety called me a pariah. I don't even know what a pariah is.
That was great.
Scott was so good as
Yeah.
Roman Bridger. Like he was awesome.
He was.
And just even his reveal, it was awesome, you know, because it shocked you because he did his fake out, in my opinion, really well.
Yeah.
I thought there was a killer down there in the basement with him. I'm like, oh man, they killed Roman, man, that's a little sucky. And then he
Right.
reveals him. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me sit back and observe this for a second and see what. Oh, he's her brother. Oh, this all makes sense. Okay, like
Mhm.
it was really, really well done.
Yep.
Even though I think we all can agree they shot that movie with 2 killers running around.
That's right, baby.
With 2 killers running around.
That's right. Shout out to Angelina. People have talked about this whole idea of the secret cameo or, you know, a secret reveal or stuff like that. Some people have said Emma Roberts is Jill. Some people have said Angelina. Some people have said Kirby. First of all, do you you know, agree with any of those, or do you have someone in mind that you think will be showing up in this movie that we didn't know about and we'd be shocked to see?
I really am on board with the idea of Jill possibly being, you know, the cameo. I mean, it is 15-year anniversary of Scream 4.
Good point.
You know, so I mean, and I mean, that would definitely get a lot of people hyped up seeing
It
Jill
would.
back, especially if she has some information. Who are the other 2 that you mentioned?
Some people have said it's Kirby. Some people
Yeah.
have said Angelina.
Man, I wouldn't mind Kirby, especially if you're going to lead us into a spinoff with her.
Right.
I would love to see Kirby make a cameo or make a return. I kind of think it kind of makes sense. I mean,
It does.
FBI still, shouldn't
Yep.
she be going to Pine Grove too?
Yeah, you would think so. You
know,
would think so.
Oh man, do you know who my, and I know it's outlier. I'll throw this in there, but I've heard rumors about Jamie Lee Curtis maybe being a cameo. I don't know. But my outlier pick, and I know it's outlier. But Knight, you know this better than a lot of people. This is the movies. And backdoor deals get done all the time. What if it's Samantha at Fallbrook?
Yeah.
She has that pill bottle. We know that she has antipsychotic depression medicine. We know that she had to have been in a psychiatric ward somewhere before.
Mm.
It's really not, and they don't even have to show her. They don't have
That's
to
true.
show her. They don't, even if it's not Melissa. I don't know, obviously bother me. If they're going to do it, don't show her face. Just show the back of her. And she's like sitting in a chair or something. You just see the back of her head. And maybe you hear Gale like, Samantha, we need your help or something. And she's like, I can't help you. This isn't my story. Like I told you before, something like that. That would not be surprising to me. I mean, I'm sure a lot of fans would rather that than them either give us a BS reason why they're not in this movie or kill them off screen.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
My outlier is maybe it's Samantha Carpenter. Now, I'm not saying she's the patient who gets out.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what if they talk to another patient in there?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, but either one of them as a cameo, Emma Roberts, Kirby, even Jamie Lee Curtis. How crazy would that be?
Wouldn't that just be like full circle though? You know what I mean?
It would be.
Kevin
really,
Williamson loves Halloween
yeah.
78. That's his jam. And wouldn't it be full circle to have Laurie Strode herself, Jamie Lee Curtis, in this film? That'd be crazy.
That would be absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I'll ask you this real quick. Like, if she is the cameo, would she just be Jamie Lee Curtis, or would you have her be a different character, or would you even have her be Laurie Strode? Even, I mean, Laurie Strode did write a memoir at the end of Halloween Ends, so I mean, maybe she's on a book tour in Pine Grove.
Bro.
I'm just spitballing, man.
Hey, listen. You don't want to get me going on Halloween, man. You know I'm always ready to go that road. I got Michael on right now, man.
I know that's right, brother.
Yeah, I'd be fine with anything if they go down that road.
Right.
If they had her as Laurie Strode, I don't know, man. And I'm not against it, but I'm just thinking to myself, wow, they're really is this Avengers? We're connecting universes and stuff. I mean, it'd be crazy, but
but you are onto something with the Star Wars idea. I've been wanting to tell you that you're onto something, man.
Hey,
you're onto something with that. There's something there with that.
It would be crazy, man. I mean, we know, like, obviously, the mythologies of Friday the 13th and Elm Street are connected. They're in the same universe because Freddy versus Jason happened, So I'm just saying, it'd be crazy, man. I'm up for anything.
And somebody said this to me, and it was so ironic because it was like the day after I caught the last episode of this. And that's when you and Julie and Sarah were on here on the panel. And that's when you mentioned something about Star Wars. And I found that so interesting because somebody hit me up in my comment section and pointed some things out. We have a character named Lucas. We have a character named Ben. Lucas Ben Skywalker. Then we have a ghost face who sounds like Darth Vader when he breathes. But, and somebody said this in my comment section. They're like, Lord Palpatine or Emperor Palpatine was a character who was assumed dead that came back, I guess, multiple times or whatnot. So, I ain't gonna lie, I did my homework. I nerded out for a second. I'm not familiar too much with Star Wars, so did a little bit of homework. And interestingly enough, Emperor Palpatine, one of the times he was killed off was by electrocution, baby.
Oh, boy.
Let's go.
It's true. It is true. It is true.
So,
that'd be crazy, man.
It's interesting for sure. What do you think about the Darth Vader, man? What do you think about the
I mean, look, man. See, this is the thing. If you had asked me this question a bunch of years ago, the Star Wars connection, I'd have been a lot more like, because Star Wars has just gone down some weird shit, man. It's like, I mean, seriously. But yeah, I do see those parallels. They are there, and I mean, I love it. You're like, he got electrocuted and he came back. Listen, I mean, as you well know, as well as anyone else, when Steven did the amazing Stu Macher trial, the People versus Stu, the whole idea of the electrocution thing, I mean, we blew that out of the water. Sure. I mean, we literally did research, people being directly struck by lightning bolts and surviving, so and again, I don't, I'm not trying to go down that whole road about could he be alive? Of course he could, but I'm just saying, yes, he could be back. He could be here. And, I know some people say, well, why did it take so long? Why did it take so long? Dude, when you're dealing with someone who's psychotic, logic is thrown out the window.
Yes.
There are a million reasons why it's taken this long. I mean, obviously, in the real world, it's because they just didn't bring him back. But movie-wise, bro, we could go a million different roads of why, and make it work. And I do think him coming back, I think it works because it's been so long. I know a lot of people say it's been too long, but I think it works because, again, these movies have been built upon each other. And now, Sydney, here's the one thing, in my opinion, being someone that has kids, this is the one thing in the world that you'd fear more than your own life, and that's the life of your kid. You know what I'm saying? So this is possibly, and I do think they're going to craft this the right way for Nev. This could be the most terrified she's ever been.
Yep.
Because now you're messing with Tatum,
Yep.
Her family. And she can't just point the gun. Of course I am. I'm Sidney Prescott, damn it. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yep.
no, now your kid has to find a way out of this possibly, or have that same strength, inner strength that you had. Does she have it? She probably does. But what I'm saying is, as a mother, there's a lot of fears that could be happening. So I just think bringing back Matthew after all this time, I think it works because we've seen the Dominoes, we've seen Mrs. Loomis, we've seen Roman, we've seen Jill, and so forth and so forth. Now going back to the original, I think that it would work in my mind, my crazy mind. It would work. So just saying.
You know what I just realized too?
What's that?
Sydney has had family members be killers.
Mhm.
Billy had a family member be killer.
Yeah.
You could even somewhat say Samantha, even though she's more of an anti-hero.
Right.
Stu has never had anybody come to his defense. Never, not once. Nobody has come to Stu Macher's defense. And that's why he should be the one to do it. I full-heartedly believe that he's going to come back. People forget, Matthew said in the summer of 2025, I'm going to be playing a fairy godmother, and it's going to slay. Well, the fairy princess play is a take on Sleeping Beauty. It's a take on that movie. And in Sleeping Beauty, the evil fairy godmother was a character that everybody in the land thought was dead for so many years until she revealed herself alive because she was in hiding. She was hiding from everybody. And I just always, when he said that it just, I'm like, oh, okay. I see what you did there, Matthew. Try to be subtle. We do homework over here, buddy.
Right. That's right. That's right. We're studious.
Man, it's just even see, but think about it. It's still the mystery. We still really don't know what they're going to do. And
that's right.
That's the beautiful thing about Scream 7 in itself compared to the last two films. Is the last two films, especially with the trailers for Scream 5 and then just seeing what they did with Scream 5, we kind of knew they were going to mirror Scream 2 a lot with that film with Scream 6. Scream 7, yeah, sure, there's some things that they are clearly going to mirror from Scream 3, but there's also other things that they're mirroring as well.
Oh, yeah.
Scream 2, the theater, the chase scenes and all that stuff. Scream 2 is going to have a lot more influence in Scream 7 than I think a lot of people are giving it credit for.
I hope so. Yeah, man. That the chase scene in 2, to me, still to this day, one of the greatest chase scenes ever.
Yes, it's one of the best.
It's amazing.
You're talking about with Gale, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I just thought it was so well done, and I was on the edge of my seat. This was such a great moment for Gale and Dewey, and I mean, seriously, I think it's still one of the best in horror, let alone the franchise. I'm talking about in horror. So I definitely want to see that in this film. And it's funny because 6, we had that chase scene right before we saw the Terminator come to life. Chad himself. And it was good. It was good. I think they messed up that moment. And I liked Chad in 6. I like Chad as a character, but he should have died. I'm just saying, you don't get stabbed that many times and walk away shrugging it off.
Right.
But that chase scene had more of an action element than a horror element, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like in 2, I feel horror. I feel terror for these two characters that I love. Whereas in 6, I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. Ooh, ooh.
You're hyped up. It's more of an adrenaline rush than you're like.
Yeah. It's like I'm watching Jason Bourne. the tight camera and everything. So
Right.
anyways, I think that you're right. I think this movie could definitely have some really cool stuff paralleled off of too. Let me jump to the chat again real quick because I know we got a couple more super chats. We want to make sure we try to get through these because you guys are just being so amazing. We got Talks Scream in the house. Thank you so much for the super chat saying, yo, I just got this live stream recommended. And what do I spot? Mr. Marcus, my brother, always loving me some Scream talk. Thank you so much. Seriously, man. He is here. Mr. I shot him 6 times.
Yo, what's up? Yuno's really cool. And I'll say this. I mean, I'm surprised isn't like a content creator like us because he's on top of things, man. Like he be catching things that some of us like it'll bot like I'm talking about split second things that it's like really, really hard to catch.
Yeah.
He catches them. Like one in particular, there's a shot in a TV spot where Sydney's house goes from daytime to nighttime really quickly. But you don't see like the outside, like it's so quick that you got to really slow it down. There's somebody standing outside of her house watching her house. Yes. And it looks like they have a backpack and they're wearing all black with a hoodie on and stuff.
Oh,
yeah. He caught that. I'm like, whoa, bro, how did you catch that? And I seen how he did it. I'm like, bro, that was literally like some MacGyver shit right there. Like, yo, bro, it was crazy and stuff. But really good at spotting some information that you might miss and stuff, and just an overall great conversation. So thank you for being here, and showing Knight some support.
Absolutely. Much appreciated, and hope that you're enjoying this conversation because we're all over the place. We're hitting some good stuff here though. And it's been a lot of fun. But thank you so much. Seriously. Thank you. We got Jen also coming back in with a super chat. Thank you so much, Jen. My surgery was postponed, so I will be in the theater on February 27th. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's some great news, Jen, because I know you were really, really bummed out about not being able to see Scream 7 in the theater. So I'm happy. I'm happy. Let me know how all that's going on Instagram. Seriously. But I'm happy for you. That's going to be awesome. We'll all see it together. Super Tenor coming in as well. Thank you so much, Super Tenor. Much love, bro. Gale is not Ghostface. Stop. Don't make me burn a theater.
He's gonna burn it all down.
Yeah, I love it. I know, man. I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be interesting if they go down that route because that is gonna change everything in this franchise, in my opinion. It really, really is. We got Night Owl coming in with a super chat. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. I think Camp, the neighbor, is the opening kill. Who's the body on the street being covered with the sheet? Her. And the fire is our first ending kill. Now, a lot of people have talked about this when we first saw the first trailer. And I was talking with my good buddy Eric, obviously the Bearded Entertainment, and my sis Gory B Movie. We even thought about that too. What if that is the ending of the film? Burning the house is the end, and it's like that's how we walk off into the cliffhanger. What do you think is the percentage chance we get that, Marcus?
I think it's almost for me, Knight. I'm sold, bro. I'm almost at 100%.
Ooh, wow!
I was going to say that too, and I don't know if you caught this, Knight, when Ghostface calls Sydney. Now we've gotten it confirmed with that shot of her meeting Tatum at the door at the theater.
Yeah.
It's nighttime. If you look at Sydney's phone when Ghostface calls her, it's like 10 something at night. Or whatnot. If the Macher residence if the Macher residence had already been lit ablaze, in my opinion, I don't think Ghostface would be like, we're going to burn it all down if it had already happened.
That's a good point.
I think during the phone, I think we're going to get a completely different opening scene to what we're expecting. And then that scene at Stu Macher's house, when it's burning down, this is basically what I think is going to happen. Subsequently, we're going to get revealed in Scream 7. Most likely, some people may hate me for saying this, won't be Stu. But with the burning down of the Macher house, that the door open for him to return in 8, and it kind of makes more sense because let's think about it this way. If Stu were to be revealed alive at the end of 7, but you still this burning down of the Stu Macher house scene as the cliffhanger. Well, then that means Stu isn't our mastermind. And I'm sure Stu fans don't want to see him return to somebody's lackey. They want him to be the one to orchestrating all of this and stuff. So I think that the Macher house burning down is going to be our cliffhanger ending. Whether that ends with Ghostface walking away from the Macher house and he takes his mask off and reveals it's Stu, I can't tell you that. I don't know. But I do think that they're setting it up they're going to give us a bunch of Stu Macher Easter eggs. They're going to play into this whole idea. Is he alive? Is he dead? Yep. And then come to the end of Scream 7, they're going to kind of shoot our hopes down and be like, oh, it's not Stu, it's other people. But then when we get to the Macher house, it's like, whoa, who's this?
Right.
So that's what I think they're going to do with that. I do think that the Macher house burning down is going to be our cliffhanger ending.
Wow, man. Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a part of me that was thinking that would make a lot of sense. You know, it really would. I don't know where I'm at on the percentage of it because I've kind of gone back and forth in my own mind about it. Because I could see it as an opening too. I could see it as an opening as well. I will say this though, back to your point about Stu. You know, I think that, in my opinion, the movie is going to go back and forth as far as us thinking whether he's alive or not. And I think that makes sense. I think that ultimately he's got to be the mastermind. I mean, bro, it just, and Jake was saying, look, I would love it to be just, you know, a new character, you know, someone, you know, we're introduced to this killer and they make it work, they execute it right. And I agree. That'd be fine because obviously that's how it's happened in every movie. We're introduced to the killer. But I'm just saying, man, it just feels like this is operating on a higher level. It's supposed to be personal for Sidney. How can it not get more personal than Stu? I just, you know, again, in the theater, when I see it, I could be totally amazed and shocked and, you know, throwing my popcorn saying, oh, I should have thought of that. That's how it could be more personal. But right now, right here, I don't see how it gets any more personal than that. On the poster, they have his name right there.
Yep.
Let me move this super chat. And by the way, Night Owl, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate it. Seriously. But they've got his name right up there. And it's kind of like, okay, why?
Right.
Fifth name, right behind Jasmine and Mason. Hell, he's ahead of Joel McHale and Courtney Cox. What are we doing? What are we doing? What's really going on? He can't just be in the movie walking by the camera like, hey, you know, like a AI deepfake thing. It just feels like that would be such a waste. It just feels like it would be such a waste. Super trolling. And, you know, and some people, let me ask you this, because some people are saying, okay, well, they're leaning so hard into Stu. All the marketing, what we hear Ghostface saying in this net is just, it's so there out in the open.
Yes.
It can't be Stu because of that. What do you think of that?
I say to that, well, Scream 5's trailer basically revealed Amber was the killer and she was the killer. So
that's true.
I mean, it's not like they haven't done this before.
That's true.
So I'm not, I mean, listen, I can understand why some people would feel that way because it does kind of seem a little trolly. It does kind of seem like they are showing their hand a lot.
Yeah.
But the reason why they're showing their hand a lot is because they're trying to keep us guessing. They have us talking. They have our attention. Is he going to be alive? Is he going to be dead? That's what they want, and they're executing it perfectly. And something that does need to be taken into account in regards to the poster. If Stu's just going to be AI, we know Dewey and Roman are going to be something like that. You don't see them on the poster. You don't see Dave or Scott Foley on that poster.
That's right.
So that leads me to believe that Matthew Lillard is going to not only just be in this movie, he's going to be alive in the flesh, or they're going to lean in heavy to the AI and the deep fakes and stuff like that to where they're going to have different killers revealed, but then obviously he's going to come back in 8, because this is another thing too. You know, let's say these people who are the killers aren't a part of Stu Macher's cult, right?
Yep.
Let's say they're not, and they're using Stu's AI image and his likeness as a way to taunt Sydney or whatever. This is another reason why Stu would be upset and be like, you know what? No, I'm coming back because this is the real thing. That's not really me. This is the real me. And what's really fascinating, especially in that going in that direction, is if the Stu Macher burning scene, the house burning scene happens at the end, and Sydney gets a phone call. Remember, in the most recent trailer, what did it say? It didn't say, I'm going to burn it all down. It said, we're going to burn it all down. So it would make a lot of sense, especially if the killers in 7 they're revealed as not a part of Stu Macher's cult, but then whoever's burning down Macher's home, we're going to burn it down. Now, this is my cult. This is really me, Stu, and you're going to see who's in my cult. I don't have nothing to do with these people, but you're going to see real quick who I am and who I got with me and stuff. So something like that, man. It's just the fact, Knight, compared to like the last 2 films, especially the last film in 6, because I was a little bit more involved in the content creating for that film. It just feels like they're doing a great job of keeping us talking, and they're doing a great job misdirecting us. And when I talk about that misdirection too, did you catch that AI version of Tatum in the TV spot trailer?
Oh yeah. I saw. Look, man, and by the way, and hopefully I can't remember if I had commented on your thing. I saw your thing that you put up on that, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, bro.
You're right.
Yo, bro.
Because you saw with the necklace and everything.
Yes, bro.
The pendant.
Just the face. When I saw that, I'm like, yo, that's not Isabel, man. What are you doing? And then I'm really looking at her, and I'm just like, ooh, those necklaces ain't the same neither.
They're not the same.
So I have 2 theories for it. I'm going to drop the second one in a regular video, but I talked about my first theory for it on the live stream on the episode of the podcast the other night with Destin. For all the AI talk, what if Ghostface is also using AI, an AI version of Tatum, to trick Sydney into thinking she's in these different locations? So all these locations that Sydney's barging in, trying to find her daughter, that's because Ghostface is sending her AI videos of Tatum. That's not really Tatum. He's just stringing her along to all these locations and stuff like that. If they do that with AI, I'm fine with that. That's, to me, excellent.
That's a good way to do it. Yeah, that would be a good way to do it. It's almost parallel to how they used phone calls. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to confuse and to taunt and all of those types of things. So it's almost like the evolution. And I could see that working. That could work. Because, when I heard about the whole idea of the deep fake stuff and, Matthew coming back and a lot of people saying that's all it's going to be, just deep fake. I was like, well, how much would that work? I guess maybe once, sure, and maybe it's like stings Sydney, like, oh yeah, that sucks, but you're gonna bring Matthew Lillard back to the Scream franchise for a scene, for a quick moment. That, like I said earlier in this stream right here, it'd be the biggest fumble in my opinion. Don't bring him back at all. If that's the case, don't bring him back at all.
I said this a few weeks ago, and it wasn't a shot at non-Stu truthers. I just really wanted an answer to this question. If Stu Macher is not coming back alive in Scream 7 or in Scream 8, if he's never going to be revealed alive, what was the whole purpose in trying to keep him being on set under wraps?
That's a good point.
Why hide that? If he's just going to be a computer, if he's just going to be a cameo or something if he's going to have no real in the flesh significance in this movie,
right?
Why feel the need to hide it and get ahead of it before somebody else leaks it?
Exactly. And if that's all he's doing, why put him on the poster? He doesn't need to have his name on the poster. You know what I mean? Like, David Arquette. He's OG as well. His name ain't on the poster. So like I said, man, when the time comes and we watch this thing, it's just going to be, I'm just gonna be like this. Like, oh man, I'm just curious
You
to
too,
just see
man.
how this thing goes off, man. Real quick in the chat, and we're gonna be wrapping up in a little bit, man. I just realized we've been on for an hour and a half.
It flies, man. It just
It
goes.
does.
Having a great time and great conversation. The time just it's smooth.
It does, man. It's
What did our
crazy.
boy
Like,
Fabio say when we were growing up? I can't believe it's not butter.
get out of here, man. All right. Real quick in the chat. We got is coming back in saying, and thank you for the soup chat again, man. Seriously. Saying, wait, what if they put the scenes together to trick us? Ghostface will kill someone there, but what if they're being dead is part of the play and it's someone else? That's what we've been saying. I think that's the type of stuff I think is going to be happening in this movie to really fool us and keep us kind of like just at arm's length from the reality of what's going on. I think that
Yes,
this is, from what we've heard, rumor and so forth, it makes sense that they would use this as a big device in the film. I really
I
think so.
agree. It kind of takes you back to Scream '96 when Billy gets arrested, but Stu calls Sydney at Dewey's house. That
Yeah.
correct. Like, wait a minute. So it ain't
Yep.
Billy.
Right.
So, dude, man, she got like Stu said, looks like you got the wrong guy again.
Yeah. And it
So
was great. It was great
right.
having that roller coaster, and I've said it time and time again, right from the beginning. We're like, Billy's the killer. We knew it. Randy said it. So we're thinking he's the killer. And then he gets arrested. We're like, oh shit, maybe he's
Mhm.
not. And then we're like, no, he is. And we go back and forth, right up until the end. We're like, yeah, he just gave her that look. He's the killer. And then he gets killed. And we're like,
Yeah.
shit, I got fooled.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
And then he reveals himself, and we're so wrapped up in that, we don't see the real twist. The real
Yep.
twist is Stu.
Yep.
That was the beauty of 96,
Yep.
is that we were on this roller coaster and we were so focused on Skeet, we didn't even see Matthew.
Yep.
When Sydney first runs right into Matthew and he's like, surprise, Sydney,
Yep.
I was just like, but for that split second before he says it, I was like, oh man, thank God you got the Stu. He'll help you. No, he won't.
Right. And it's so funny because they did such a great job layering that out that
Right.
Randy told us right before that. Stu's flipped out. He's gone mad.
Yeah.
But because of the reveal of Billy, it's like, wait. That just totally distracted us from Stu's reveal.
That's
Like,
right.
so
It's
many
true.
words was revealed right then, but we were so enamored by Billy and his fake out and stuff that
Yep.
we were like, oh, wait a minute. And stuff. And that's another thing, too. Up until the end, I'm so glad that you said it that we did not see Stu coming because Randy didn't even see Stu coming.
That's right.
Randy did not see Stu coming up until the end, until Stu flipped out and went mad. That was
right.
it. Up until then, Randy was all on, you're such a little lapdog. He's got killer printed all over his forehead. He was
That's
on,
right.
so.
Yep.
Yeah,
The greatest detective in the franchise didn't know.
Yeah, thank you. Oh,
Yeah,
man. Like,
it's true. And
that's what I want for Scream 7. I want us to get
Yeah.
back to that.
Yeah.
Get back to that shroud of those misdirections. Like, oh wait, we're going here. Oh no, wait, we're going here. Oh no, we're staying here.
Right.
So,
Right.
fingers crossed, buddy.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that it's quite possible. And it also showed how smart and capable Stu is, or
Mhm.
Stu was, I should say, in 96, because he was able to fool everybody. He was able to stick to the game plan with the kills. He was able to stick to the game plan to make Billy look like he was innocent. So he's crafty, bro. Like some people that aren't big on him coming back, they're like, oh, how could he mastermind stuff? Billy was the brains, this and that. It's not like Stu was dumb, bro.
Not only that, Stu came up with the idea in regards to how Neil was going to kill Sydney and then himself.
Yes, that's right. And here's the other thing too. Stu, I knew, people like that in high school, putting on that show. Who else puts on a show? Bruce Wayne. And guess what?
Ah,
You get what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
Bruce Wayne is badass. So, Stu seeing like he's just this, over the top zany, silly guy, whatever. that's the show.
Yep.
That, and I'm not saying that's not who he is, but what I'm saying is he's making you think that he's not as crafty or as intelligent as he is
Yes.
just by proxy, just by his charisma. So, anyways, good stuff, man. We got another super chat coming in from John. Thank you so much, brother. Saying, sorry, guys. One more theory. Do you believe Roman may have interacted with Stu after one, or at the time he met Billy and saw more secret potential in him over Billy? Maybe the secret plan is in 7. We talked about that too, man. I think it's quite possible. I mean, think about this. This movie could do so much, tie all the movies together, and like we've been talking about, strengthen not only Scream 3, but Roman as a Ghostface killer. You know, if we get that flashback, or at least some idea like what we're talking about here from John, because we've heard a lot about what Roman did back then, when he told us in 3. Now we get a chance to maybe see it or
Yes.
understand it more, and that only strengthens Roman. So I think that would be a good reason, and a good thing for Scott to do. I know some people are saying they don't think Scott's gonna do a lot in this film. I hope they're wrong, because I mean, you got a chance to do a lot of great stuff with him,
I agree. And
even in just a small scene.
I think they could reveal what I've always felt is that Roman was there the night of Scream 1996.
Yeah.
I believe he was there. That scene where
Why not?
Sidney locks Stu in his parents' room after the fake out with Billy.
Yep.
And then it takes her 3 seconds to get around, and then you see that Ghostface spot of stairs. I'm sorry, he's not getting around there that fast. It's just,
right.
I don't think there's a trap door. He has to run all the way around to get to that spot and stuff. And if you look closely, there's the chair that's sitting by that desk. It's out. Like, that looks like somebody was sitting in there. And I just feel like, man, like, and this is another thing, and I did this video like months ago and stuff, and this is something that blew my mind when I caught it. So you remember those 2 guys in Principal Hembry's office? The look-alike Stu and Billy.
Yeah.
Look-alike Stu never leaves the house. He doesn't leave the house. He does not leave the house. Billy look-alike does, but look-alike Stu does not leave that house at all. And there's even a moment, I broke this thing down to a T, brother, where you can see somebody, it's a shadow, but you can kind of make it out, and it looks like that same kid walking back towards the kitchen while everybody else is like leaving. And then if you look at Kenny's, you look at the monitor when Kenny's closing the door.
Yeah.
At the monitor, Randy sits up as if he heard something.
Oh,
so
yeah.
If that Roman was there that night and helped Stu fake his death, fake Stu's body is right there for the taking, in my opinion, because I think he got killed off.
And of course, that would explain the bodies.
Yes.
Okay, that could be a good way to do it. And I've said that too about Roman, because look, he's the director. He faked his own death.
Yep.
So who's to say that he couldn't have helped out in 96? Why wouldn't he? Just saying. I mean, again, we'll see how they make it play out, but it makes logical sense if they want to go that way to really tie it all together.
Right, man.
Wow, man.
Bro, it's crazy. Like, if they do that, man, it would be so awesome, because I think it's possible. I would even love to see a flashback of Billy and Stu killing off Maureen. And I know a lot of people be like, yeah, but we're going to get that R scene. No, we're not. There was never no R scene, because Cotton and Maureen had sexual intercourse before she was killed. That's what made it look like an R scene. And stuff. So there was never no real R scene. My idea for a flashback in regards to Billy, Stu, and Roman being connected to that scene is Roman calls Maureen. Mind you, Sidney's out at this point in time.
Right.
Roman calls Maureen as Ghostface, uses the Ghostface voice, all that. Maureen gets startled or whatever, has an interaction, hangs up the phone. Here's a doorbell ring or a knock at the door. It's Billy and Stu, and they don't have to be in costume. We know they weren't in costume because Billy took Cotton's coat. And
right.
he was able to see the side of his face. and it's Billy and Stu. And Maureen, of course, lets them in because she thinks they're there for Sydney. And we get this slow burning banter between Billy and Maureen to where it leads into Maureen realizing Billy knows about her and Hank. And then maybe like Stu pulls out a knife or Billy pulls out a knife, and then they chase her upstairs in a room. They do. Stu maybe sneaks out the back door. Billy grabs Cotton's coat, walks out the front, and as he's going on that angle where Sydney would see the side of his face, we see Sydney walking up to the house, and that's when she walks in and she finds her mother. And it would explain why she thought it was Cotton, because Billy has the same hairstyle and she only seen the side of his face.
The side profile. Yep. Wow. Man, I'm gonna tell you what. This is some great shit. Listen, in Kevin I trust, no doubt. But man, if they could hit on even like 70% of this stuff, I mean, like, I don't know, man. Can we have faith that they could do all this, that they'd want to do all this? To me, I mean, I don't know. You know, they've played the nostalgia angle time and time again. You know, this franchise is famous for that. So this is Sydney's movie. We're tying up things tied to the past. The poster says "Face your past." Yep. To me, it would make sense to tie up this stuff like this. But I don't know, man. I don't want to. I'm getting all nervous.
Too, and you're right to be nervous, because we thought they were going to do it in 5 and 6, and they didn't.
That's right.
Even when the opportunity was there to do it, they didn't do it. The difference, though, for me, is Kevin Williamson, and the reason why I trust in him so much is because he plans for the future. He writes for the future. He's not just writing for one particular movie. He's writing to build off of one particular movie. And I look at that idea that he had for Jill's character and the cliffhanger for that and stuff like that. So that's why I'm like, especially if we get a cliffhanger for this movie, I trust Kevin, because that's one thing we don't see anymore, really, Knight. And I think you agree with this. We don't see writers build for the future. It's like one particular movie. We end up with a bunch of fucking plot holes, and then we don't ever get them answered. I think Kevin is going to do a great job answering a lot of questions that we have had over the years.
I hope so, man. I really, really do. I think we got a good shot for it. I really, really do. We got Jen, who also came back in. Thank you, Jen. I'm starting to believe that Gale is a mastermind, like I believe Kincaid is. Neither have killed anyone, though. You know what? Jen is. Jen's been on the Mark Kincaid train from day one. Holy crap. You know how I feel about Mark Kincaid, Jen. But who knows? The crazy stuff could happen. This whole Gale thing that we've talked about a lot tonight, I'm really wrapping my head around it. You know, as far as right now, because I know you guys have been thinking about Gale for a while, but I think for 7, it could work based upon what we've seen in the last couple of films. And now she's at a point where she doesn't have that thing. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely could wrap my head around it. Plus, it actually gives the character something to do, which they didn't give her to do in 5 and 6. So yeah, this is definitely the time when I could wrap my head around that. Thank you so much, Jen. Coming in again, nothing serious, but the heavy breathing could be Stu's mother. And she's old, running around. Maybe she knew Maureen and she's mad at Sydney. Oh man, Stu's mother. If they do that, man, I would be like, okay, guys, we're really reaching.
I hope with the heavy breathing that, especially if it is Stu, I kind of hope we get something of like, I don't want to say like a Bane mask, but something like that, because it would make sense. Because I mean, he did get a TV thrown on his head and he was electrocuted. It would not be impossible to think that he might have some complications, breathing or something, or a defect or something like that. Right. And I'll be honest, or maybe just a deep breath breathing is a to Michael Myers.
Hey, there we go.
I mean, that could just be it. That could just be Kevin being like, you know what? I'm gonna have me a Ghostface killer who breathes like Michael Myers, just to, play into what Wes always wanted to with this franchise and paying homage to Halloween. I could see that.
Yeah, you're right. Holy crap, man. I I love that. That's great. Holy crap. Thank you so much. Seriously. Jazzy Jeff is in the house too. Where are Sydney's other kids? Where are those kids, Marcus? We've been talking a lot about this, because we saw that scene in 5, when she had the stroller and so forth. And was it 1 kid, 2 kids, 8 kids? What do you think's the answer that we're going to see revealed in 7?
I think obviously the main focus is going to be the oldest, Tatum. From what I am hearing, of course it's just rumors, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing that the youngest kids are supposed to be away with Mark's parents.
That's what I've heard too.
So, and if it is, I don't know how I feel about that, because I just feel like, especially if Ghostface is coming after her family, well, they could just hunt down Mark's parents and try to kidnap those kids too. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. And this is another thing though, too. They could completely retcon that out.
They could
completely retcon that out. Because if you think about it, Tatum's 17 years old. That means she would have been born between 2009 and 2010, right before the events of Scream 4. And in Scream 4, we had no indication whatsoever that Sydney was married or even had a child.
That's
you
true.
can even make the argument that she wasn't married or wasn't with anybody, because Rebecca, her publicist, even hinted at the idea when she said the problem with Sydney is that she doesn't get laid or even shit faced every once in a while. So it kind of leaned into that idea that Sydney wasn't with anybody, but obviously they are retconning that for Scream 7. So they could retcon that for, in regards to the kids in Scream 5, and they're not going to show up at all. Because let's really be honest, outside of the revelation that Roman was her brother, Sydney was an only child.
Yep. That's a good point. Yep. They might do that. We'll have to see. Jazzy Jeff, thank you so much, man. We appreciate the super chat. And look who came in. We got Val coming in. Thank you so much, Val. We appreciate you. Gale is 100% suspect. That is all. There you go. Go.
I got to give credit every time. Val's the one who sent me down this rabbit hole, and she didn't even intentionally do it. She shared with me her idea in regards to how they presented Gale in Scream 4. And just years start grinding, and I said, I'm going with it. And I just start piecing things together, and I'm just like, Val's on to something there, man. Like, she is, so let's see. We'll find out.
I'm telling you, man, like I said, possibly cataclysmic. We also got, come, and thank you again for that, Val. We appreciate you so much. Seriously. Coming in again saying, when we see that body on the street, Gale is on the left being questioned by the cops. We see the yellow thing by the body, which means they're dead. Hey, look, and we're talking about the scene when in the trailer when Gale first comes on the scene, I'm assuming, because this is supposed to be about Anna.
Yes.
Look, if that is the case, I don't have any issue with it whatsoever. What do you think, Marcus? I mean, it definitely could be Anna, and that's why we haven't seen her really in much of anything. Although I will say, it kind of would be a waste of Anna Camp. I mean, and I know I'm saying that in the same breath where we saw Samara Weaving, the great Samara Weaving in Scream 6, but at least, I don't know. I mean, I guess it is the same thing. What do you think, man? Do you think that that's Anna on the street, killed, dead?
I just feel like how the trailers are laid out. No. It could be. I mean, she is blonde. I mean, that could be a callback to Casey Becker.
Yeah.
I just feel like with her being on the poster, I feel, and with them saying that her and Sydney, no, that's right. No, they're saying her and Sydney have conversations. So
I did hear that.
Yeah, they have conversations. So she can't be the open. That can't be her or whatnot. So that has to be somebody else. It could be that alleged early Ghostface reveal. It could be that, but I don't think it's going to be Anna now that I'm like remembering certain things. I think she's supposed to have a few interactions with Sydney, especially about like raising kids or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think it's going to be Anna there on the street, but it's going to be interesting to find out who it is.
It is going to be interesting, man. Thank you so much for that. And Jen just snuck in right at the buzzer. Thank you so much, Jen. We appreciate you. $20 super chat. Wow, thank you so much. It really helps out so very much. Saying if Mark Evans gets killed, which he will, I want to see Sydney in tears. She never shed one for Dewey. Absolutely correct. I really felt like it was a disservice um to Sydney's character, in 5. Dewey was so important to her, and I just felt like they didn't give her the right type of scene to show the weight of losing him.
Right.
I mean, I didn't want her to sit there and be bawling for 10 minutes, but just something more than what we saw. I always found that so very odd. What did you think about that,
He did
Marcus?
it backwards because before she hangs up the phone with him, she starts getting choked up and starts to cry. And
Right.
then when he does die, we just see her hug Gale and then try to persuade Sam to help kill the killers.
Yeah.
I just felt like the way radio silence and I mean, you have to hold him somewhat accountable because he's in the writer room. Guy Busick and James
Mhm.
Vanderbilt. I think it's more Vanderbilt than anything.
Yeah.
I did not like the way they read our legacy characters outside of Dewey. Dewey was strong, but from what we later found out, they treated him like dirt. They treated David like dirt. Like they didn't treat him the best on set. And I just feel like in regards from the overall landscape of our legacy characters, like
Mhm.
just didn't really do much. Like you said, it did not really feel like Sydney. Yes, in regards to her being a badass. Yeah, it did
Yes.
feel like Sydney, but in regards to, like you said, the emotion of losing somebody like Dewey, like
Yeah.
you would expect, you know, I would have loved when she came up to Gale if they just would have had that shot focused on them for like a minute or two of them just balling it out and
Yeah.
then get it together. And we didn't get that. So I
No.
agree. If Mark dies and Sydney doesn't shed a tear, see, I can't see Kevin Williamson allowing that though, because
Right.
one thing that we have seen in the movies that Kevin Williamson has done in regards to Scream 1, Scream 2, and for the most part, Scream 4, we see Sydney's emotion. We
We
see
do.
pain that she is going through when suffering, seeing loved ones getting killed off and stuff like that. So I think in this movie, it's a return to form, not just in a badass sense, but also from an emotional sense. Like, I mean, we see it in the trailer. If you hurt her, like you see
Right.
that emotion, and that's what I want to see for Mark's death. I agree with Jen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I do too. Jen, thank you so much for that. We appreciate you. And of course, we got Julie saying if she didn't cry over Dewey, I definitely don't see her crying over Mark. Julie is not a Mark Evans fan. She really is not. And it is all good. Seriously. Well, guys, listen, we got Val, and I was just about to say that too. If you guys have not taken the time to make sure that you subscribe to I Shot Him 6 Times, make sure you guys do that. We've had the link in the chat tonight. We've got it right there from Val. Make sure you guys do that and support our brother. He deserves it, and he's amazing. So make sure you guys do that ASAP. Val and Erica and Julie, thank you guys so much for helping out tonight with the moderation. And of course, Val's so quick as I'm talking. She's like, "Doo, doo, 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 doo." Val's like, I'm telling you, all of you guys,
Right,
just so
bro.
fast.
Samurai, bro.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. She's like, she's got the link for the podcast. Definitely, if you can follow us on Apple or Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, whatever it is, definitely giving us a follow and a rating would be great. We would really appreciate it. It means a lot, guys. It really does. And jumped in one more time. Thank you so much, Imagine Dewey picked up the call before Ghostface attacked him, and we see Gale got to hear his death. That would have been intense. What do you think, Marcus, as we get ready to head on out?
Ooh, I would have liked it. I think it would have made it stronger from an emotional standpoint too. I still find it weird. How did Gale even know to show up at the hospital? When I go back and watch that,
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it would have definitely capitalized on the emotion, and it would have elevated the dialogue from Ghostface in Scream 6 when, they said, "Oh, they sure leave a mark when they go, don't they?" Amber and
Yep.
Richie, Amber and Richie happened to carve and butcher Dewey, carved him up like a Christmas goose. Like, if you would have had this play out, and then we get that dialogue in Scream 6, chef's kiss. That would have been really good,
Yep.
but unfortunately, we didn't. So it's just they had some layups in Scream 5 in regards to the intensity that they could have capitalized on, and
Yep.
just everything was kind of a little bit lackluster. Even though I do like the movie a lot more now from a different perspective than I did then, because I look at it as a movie where we see two Ghostface factions going after the same target. That's just how
Right.
I look and
Yeah.
stuff. So I like it in that aspect, but they could have definitely did a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I enjoy those films too, and I think overall this franchise is just amazingly consistent, and I'm hoping that the seventh film upholds it. I think it will. But there were just a couple of moments where it's just like it just seemed like they didn't stick the landing, and it is what it is. I think with this film, one thing we'll be able to kind of not so much judge, but I guess it's kind of being judgmental with Kevin being on board, if he can really give us what we're hoping for with the characters, the arcs, the dialogue, the scenes, the emotion, it'll really prove the point.
Yep.
It'll just prove the point of what he was able to bring to this franchise, as well as Wes, of course. But I just think with 5 and 6, there were some moments that it just didn't hit the way that you would think it would hit being a long-term Scream fan. And, that's not meant to be total shade because you look at all of the other films that followed Scream's success,
Mhm.
and there's been a lot of great ones, you know? Um, but in general, they always felt like they just didn't reach that top floor the way Scream did. And I think the reasons for that is because you had Wes Craven, you had Kevin Williamson,
Yep.
and it was just lightning in the bottle. You had these amazing actors that just had the right elements. It was all these ingredients, You had David Arquette with just that charm, that heart that he always brings. You had Matthew and Skeet. You had Courtney. You had Nev. Just it was amazing how it all went together. And like I said, I think if we get even even 60 or 70% of that vibe in 7, it just proves that point for me 100%.
I
There was
agree.
it was something special about those filmmakers, those actors, that moment in time in 96 and in the other films that Kevin was a part of.
I agree. And one more
Yeah.
thing I will plug in here before we head out, and this is something that brought to my attention, and I think it goes over a lot of our heads because it's the scene where we see Tatum and Sydney talking, and they're walking past the reporters in the original. But you hear that first reporter talking mention about the occult. The
Yep.
school thought it was the occult, and it's just so interesting that Kevin's idea for Scream 3 before everything happened with Columbine, he was going to go with the cult angle.
Yep.
And
That's
now
right.
he's back. I think this has always been the plan from Kevin that he wanted to do a cult of Ghostface angle for the Scream franchise, and I think we're definitely going to get it in this movie, or at least parts of it in this movie, and then full on in 8.
Yeah. It makes sense to me. And again, it ties into what we've seen in 5 and 6 and what he wanted to do in 3. So look, we're literally on the 1 yard line with the greatest running back of all time, and all we got to do is just push forward. We're gonna see
Yes,
if we can see if
don't
they'll punch it home.
don't pull a Pete Carroll, please.
Do-
Give Marshawn the damn ball.
That was good, man. And I'm not even going to go there. That was good. That was really good. Val, thank you so much for and thank you so much for all the support and the great comments and questions tonight, man. Seriously, it means a lot. It helps us out so much. It lets us know we should do more of these type of streams. Seriously. Val's reminding people, leave a comment. Don't forget to hit the like button. And before we sign off, our good friend Sarah the Queen just popped in. Sarah, you're gonna have to watch this thing. This was a lot of fun. We hit all the high points. It was a lot of fun. You got to hear what we were talking about. Seriously, as she just came from seeing Poltergeist.
Ooh.
Hey, love Poltergeist. Gosh, I wish I could see it on the big screen. That
Okay,
is awesome.
so I was confused for a second because I was thinking it was like a remake or something that I didn't hear about, but I guess they put the original back in theaters in where she's at. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, listen, there are a couple of theaters that I've heard people have gone to that are playing a lot of the old school classics, man, and it's so cool. Oh
You know
my
what really
gosh.
funny? And maybe one day, if I'm able to have enough money to open one, I want an old school drive-through theater.
Oh my God, bro. Isn't that the dream?
I want one so bad, bro. I do. It like, oh man, that's
You,
just so fun. Like I remember when I was younger, like my family, we're going to one and stuff like that because they used to have a few here in Pennsylvania in the '90s, and I
yeah.
remember specifically my mom and my dad took me to a Halloween themed one, and they were playing the Halloween movies.
Ooh.
Yes, that was.
Wow.
I'm not even gonna lie, I loved it, and I'm just ever since that day, I'm just like, as I got older, I'm like, man, we need more drive-through theaters like the old time, like the old school. Like that'd be
Man,
so cool.
I'm gonna tell you what, I've been lucky enough to have gone to several movies, drive-in. And I actually used to live not that far from one,
Nice.
and it's I mean, not now, but there was a time, and this was years and years and years ago, that I lived near one and saw, a handful of movies like that. It's an experience. If you're a movie fan, it's almost nothing like it, you
Really.
know?
Like
And,
it's
and
cool being in the actual, like it's cool being in the theater, but it's just
yeah,
something different about being in a drive-through theater outside in the summer or the fall time. The
yes,
weather's brisk, the vibe is just it's just a different vibe. It's just a whole
yeah,
different vibe.
it is, man. And for a lot of folks, and especially, you younger folks out there, um, it was just cool, man, because it really made watching a movie an event, you
Yes,
know? It
that
was
part.
an event, and I'll tell you what, man, I miss it. I
Me-
miss it so much. I mean, just even thinking about seeing some of my favorite, especially with horror movies,
Yes.
seeing them at a drive-in, man, God, man, now you got me reminiscing. We gotta stop because Marcus is gonna keep us all here all night. I love him though, but seriously, man, thank you so much for doing this. We
Thank you
got to
for
do
having
this again.
me, brother. It's been too long. Hopefully, we get to link up some more. I know we're both busy, but we can definitely
Yeah.
try to work through our schedules and try to do more streams and episodes of podcasts like this because it's always a great conversation.
Hell yeah, man, absolutely. And again, guys, make sure that you go and subscribe to Marcus's channel. And what I'm going to do, man, I'm going to play the outro, and I'm just going to catch up with you backstage for a quick second.
Sweet.
But again, guys, make sure you guys subscribe to Marcus. He rocks and absolutely awesome. Yeah, man, we got to hook up some more. I got to
Yeah.
get on your page and
Yes.
hang out with you guys and stuff like that. So seriously, we'll be planning that for sure. For all
Absolutely.
you guys here, thank you for hanging out with us so much. I know we couldn't get to everyone. We had a whole bunch of folks, a whole bunch of questions, but we'll definitely be around next time to talk to you guys. Hopefully, I'll be on again this Saturday. We'll see. Life happens, so we'll see what we can do. But thank you guys so much. We hope you have a good night. And as always, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.
See everybody.